and I walked up to you. I said, darling, when can we meet? 'Cause now it's not too late. I want to sit away alone by myself. I'm not just gonna stay away. I wanna just decide what is to be my fate. Alone by myself, I'm not just gonna stay away. But now it's not too late. I want to sit away alone all by myself. I'm not just gonna stay here and wait. I wanna just decide what is to be my fate. Alone all by myself. I'm not just gonna stay here and wait.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to tonight's edition of Really Cool News Nightly Newscast. I'm Jim Finch, and we've got news for you on Turtle Boy, James Freeman, Regan Benson, and DMA. And, of course, a nightly look at the GoFundMe campaigns of several famous YouTubers. It's been a lovely day here in north central Pennsylvania, which I viewed through my window as I don't dare go outside in the pollen-filled landscape. I'm about to take a Benadryl just thinking about getting the mail, so yeah. Another day indoors. But I can always long for the sun and fun and allergy days of old. Well, there were no sun and fun and allergy-free days of old since I'm allergic to the world. We're working on making some changes to our intros and our outro videos for the show. Our panels and our daily Karen Reed coverage will also be impacted. Hank saw our universal outro today and gave them a thumbs up of sorts. He called them weird, and he did marvel at finding a puffy jacket in one of the pictures we used. We may be premiering the new look for the Karen Reed intros for this tomorrow morning at 8:55 a.m., so please tune in. Pope Phil brought news that the rights to the organization that owns all of our fictional contracts has been again sold, this time to a Ministry of the Traveling Pants. I'm not sure, but it involves a nunnery, absolute worship of his popeship, and talking dogs. So I'm in, as long as the fictional check's clear, I guess. And other stuff going on, I've been asked to do a merch store by a few subscribers. I'm tempted to do it, but I'm not planning on getting rich off of it. If we do it, we'll keep prices in range of cost and not overinflate like some others do. You have lots of ways to contribute to our product if you really want to. The donations are scrolling as we speak in the scroll below here. And this merch shop of promo material will be making a few dollars off of the promo material we sell at best. Not going to overinflate it. With that, let's get on with the news. No winners for second day of tracking war. The plight of the ongoing GoFundMe campaigns we follow each day was on display again on Monday, as none of the campaigns we follow received donations from supporters of those channels. To showcase the lack of connection between the YouTubers and their audience, let's go through their current campaigns and the last time each campaign received a donation. Christopher Cordova's Defend DMA and the Fight Against Corruption and Oathbreakers Fund stands at a total of $515 out of its $20,000 goal, with its last donation of $50 made 10 days ago. Craig Hendry's To Support Craig's Work Fund stands at $2,467 out of a $4,000 goal, and it has not had a donation in 20 days when it received a $50 donation. Garrett Van Net's Support Press with Rankers Legal Fund campaign hit $2,406 out of a $45,000 goal. Its last donation came 21 days ago and was for $20. Christopher Ruff's Help Christopher Ruff Direct D Clear His Name Fund has been one of the more active campaigns that we follow and has stagnated to a lesser extent from the others, as the fund received a $125 donation 2 days ago. It currently sits at $11,365 out of a $100,000 goal. Jose de Castro's Lawyer Fund Only All Dollars Go to Lawyers campaign, which originally was to provide support to other auditors, but was later absorbed by de Castro's own debt, stands at $20,555 out of a $25,000 goal, with the last donation made to the fund of $5 made 12 days ago. Jose de Castro's Legal Aid Fund Donation Fund Help People Fund is doing slightly better, as it stands at $26,120 out of a $35,000 goal, and last saw a donation 6 days ago with a $10 donation. Jose de Castro's Legal Defense Fund Crime Scene Tape Illegal Arrest campaign is doing the worst out of all the official fundraisers set up by de Castro, sitting at $2,295 out of a $30,000 goal. Its last donation came 11 days ago in the amount of $5. De Castro's unverified Support Delete Laws from the Tyranny He Fights campaign has sat at $311 out of a $20,000 goal for the last 29 days. The last recorded donation was $25. Again, this seems to be a fan-run campaign and not an official Delete Laws fundraiser. Christopher Reeder's Help for Public Safety Fight Fraud Recovered Fund has sat at $3,557 out of an $8,500 goal for over a month. The date of the last donation simply states 1 month and was for $100. Sean Paul Ria's Unlawful Arrest and Constitutional Rights Violation campaign apparently died before it got traction, as it stands at $2,271 out of a $10,000 goal. Its last donation of $10 was made 23 days ago. Sean Paul Ria's Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign is doing much better than his previous campaign, as the last donation of $25 came 7 days ago. The fund stands at $50,926 out of a $55,000 goal. Sean Paul Riaz's Fund Legal Defense Against Unlawful Arrest Funds sits at $16,311 out of a $20,000 goal, and again has had a $25 donation 7 days ago. Sean Paul Riaz's Help with Criminal Defense Attorney for This Case campaign hit $21,650 out of a $25,000 goal before hitting a complete stop. The fund, which is looking for donations in a case that was apparently dropped some months ago, is still active, but the last donation of $5 came 4 months ago. Finally, Sean Paul Riaz's Help LIA with Legal Fees to Fight Tyrants Lawsuit Fund hit $1,891 out of a $2,500 goal, with its last $25 donation coming over a month ago. We will continue to provide daily updates on these crowdsourcing campaigns right here on ReallyCoolSite.org and the daily Really Cool News live streams. As always, we do have a GoFundMe, which you can see in the scroll below. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here on Really Cool Site or ReallyCoolSite.org and on the nightly newscast. Defense responds to Freeman's lack of response to show cause order. Attorneys for New Mexico's 7th Judicial District replied to James Freeman's recent reply to an order by District Judge Margaret I. Strickland to show exactly why his ongoing lawsuit against the district should not be thrown out for lack of cause. Freeman had previously responded to the judge's orders by refusing to show cause, instead attempting to modify the lawsuit to solve all the problems by asking Strickland to allow him to sue the defendants in their official capacities for declaratory and injunctive relief. The defense essentially picks up on Strickland's statement that all of the defendants have immunity from Freeman's accusations due to their conduct being tied to the judicial process. All conduct attributed to the defendants, they argue, is protected as part of their functions of their jobs. They also argue that the 11th Amendment to the Constitution bars suits in federal court against a non-consenting state brought by the state's own citizens and extends to state officials who are sued for damages in their official capacities. This argument would essentially negate Freeman's request to be allowed to sue the defendants in their official capacities for both declaratory and injunctive relief. While the response posted in Freeman's rebuttal, or finished argument as he failed to address the full request by Strickland, are pending, this case may be headed to a final resolution after nearly a year of litigation. This is a developing... Benson and Cordova rage over Steve and Joe show. YouTubers Regan Benson and Christopher Denver Metro Audits Cordova made individual remarks on Monday's Inglewood, Colorado City Council meeting, rallying against council members Steve Ward and Joe Anderson's recent appearance on the Frauditor Troll show and the apparent planned restriction on filming within Inglewood city buildings. Cordova spoke first, returning to his favorite subject, the public display of pornography in the public library. The YouTuber spoke out against any rules that would prevent full access to pornography on the public computers offered by the library, as he claimed the Supreme Court ruled that the risks of banning pornography cannot outweigh the benefits of preserving the First Amendment. Diving into the pornography versus art debate, Cordova is clearly sided with pornography as a First Amendment issue, raging against even the thought of Inglewood's proposed use of filtering software. Cordova claimed, without citation, that while filtering software is a requirement by law in some areas, it is too restrictive as it prevents the display of women's breasts on breast cancer awareness and National Geographic sites for educational purposes. The YouTuber then turned his attention to a new proposed ordinance by City Manager Sean Lewis that would ban the recording of city employees in public buildings without the express permission to do so by the subjects of the filming. Comparing the ordinance to the corrupt ordinance enacted by the Sheridan, Colorado City Council after several audits by Cordova and others, he warned that if enacted, he will return to audit the Inglewood Public Library and face arrest to apparently challenge the ordinance in court. Finally, Cordova addressed council members Steve Ward and Joe Anderson's appearance on the Frauditor Troll show. The First Amendment auditor stated that while it was the men's right to go on the show under the First Amendment, their appearance, even made outside of their official capacities, was unprofessional and insulting. Cordova vowed to head the recall effort for Steve Ward's seat and promised an easy victory as Ward's comments have turned society against them. Regan Benson's comments were blunter and more sarcastic. Addressing the council via the internet, Benson claimed that Frauditor Troll is a foreign national, a Canadian, and a communist. She mocked both men for being duped by an outsider who didn't live in the area, whose commentary they valued more than the average citizen of their community. She dramatically warned against Sean Lewis's proposed ordinance against filming as another stage in turning Inglewood into a totalitarian state where everyone who advocates for fairness or equal purpose under the law would be cast out. Benson attacked Ward and Anderson for using their appearance on the Frauditor Troll show to belittle and degrade herself and Cordova, again calling Frauditor Troll a communist, national, and a Canadian, and promised continued protest until such time that Inglewood shut down public comment. Cordova gave Benson's speech a standing ovation, widely applauding to dead stares from the actual residents of Englewood who were in attendance. Smith Ellis learns don't mess with Turtle Boy. Grant Smith Ellis became the latest victim of Aidan Turtle Boy Kearney's reign of terror against those who would oppose his belief in the innocence of accused murderer Karen Reed on Monday, as Kearney associate Jessica Machado was granted a one-year protection order against Smith Ellis. The order essentially ended Smith Ellis's ability to cover the Karen Reed murder trial in person, and ends an ongoing campaign by Kearney and his supporters to have Smith Ellis's press credentials revoked, as he is not allowed to be within 50 feet of fellow reporter Machado for the next year. Smith Ellis was blindsided at the hearing for the protection order on Monday, as his motion hearing was denied, and the actual hearing to extend the protection order's duration was held immediately following the denial. Despite being blindsided and ill-prepared for the hearing, Smith Ellis has vowed to appeal the decision to extend Machado's protection order. Smith Ellis has announced that he would be expanding his reach and is exploring creating a media outlet that would employ his theoretical replacement as lead reporter on the Karen Reed case. Monday's protection order hearing originated in an apparently staged incident between Smith Ellis, Kearney, and Machado. After months of incidents between Kearney and Smith Ellis, Kearney received press credentials from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts 2 weeks ago and allegedly enacted a plan to have Smith Ellis permanently ejected from the courthouse. Machado and Kearney approached the reporter, who was standing in line for access to the Reed trial, and Machado allegedly threw Smith Ellis's chair, while Kearney began to scream that Smith Ellis was battering Machado. Footage shot by Kearney of the incident was obscured enough to show that contact was made between the two, but not who was the aggressor. Despite Massachusetts' strict laws on protection orders, Kearney and Machado found enough evidence of multiple incidents between Machado and Smith Ellis to have the one-year protection order granted. Smith Ellis's chances of appeal, without a good attorney at hand, are negligible at best, and Smith Ellis will join Kate Peter as another critic who has been prevented from reporting on the Karen Reed trial in person due to a protection order. Kearney, while allowed in the courtroom, has been barred from being present for witness testimony when the witness has a connection to the ongoing criminal charges of witness intimidation he faces. He is expected to be barred again from the courtroom later tomorrow when Jen McCabe resumes testimony in the trial of Karen Reed. One year ago today for May 21st, 2024. Our lead story 1 year ago today featured Floyd Wallace's live stream on his Corn Season Productions YouTube channel, in which he addressed a variety of issues, including Jose Chili de Castro's recently produced lawsuit on his behalf. Wallace seemed uncomfortable addressing questions involving DeCastro, as he stated that he would be extending his stay in Las Vegas and filing his $2 million federal civil rights lawsuit against the Las Vegas Metro Police Department on Monday. Describing DeCastro as different from other YouTubers, Wallace stated that DeCastro was the only person to provide him with help in his quest for justice. The YouTuber criticized activist James Freeman, an auditor Long Island Audits, two frequent targets of DeCastro, for declining to help him when approached. The YouTuber did not address the events of the previous day, where DeCastro drove Wallace to the Las Vegas courthouse to file the lawsuit, only to be turned away as Wallace declined to bring his identification. Touching on other subjects, Wallace restated his desire to travel to Africa and meet up with prominent Mr. Passport Bro advocate Austin Hallman. While Wallace seemed troubled as he claimed he was not attracted to African women, he later clarified that it was African American women he was no longer attracted to. Wallace also stated that he no longer was interested in a traditional woman or relationship, preferring relationships without commitment, and openly fantasizing about having multiple women take care of his needs in an open relationship. Addressing his multiple open court cases for arrests in various states, Wallace admitted that he'd like to settle the cases and return to traveling. While admitting that he was a felon, he declared that he had no interest in visiting counties or countries that put limits on entry by felons before attempting to fundraise for his trip to Africa. The YouTuber ended his broadcast by reiterating his beliefs that YouTube was taking action to hamper the growth of his channels based on his ethnicity, and warned YouTube that one day someone would be so triggered by the practice that they would pay a visit to the YouTube campus and act against them. Wallace was expected to return to Texas on the following Monday, where he had planned an interview for a warehouse position with Amazon. Ultimately, Wallace did not get the job with Amazon and turned back to his YouTube auditing channel, where he would soon begin a campaign where he was DeCastro's stand-in while doing live audits. DeCastro himself declared Floyd an American treasure to certify his high regard for his brother, Floyd Wallace. Well, folks, that's another wrap up to the news today. I want to thank you all for being here at our second show at the new time. So far, it's nice to have some time to relax by myself in the evenings, where I can take time just to sit here and do nothing after nearly 2 weeks of nonstop. Life is slowly changing, but again, slowly changing. It's a Jimism. That is happening to all of us. I mean, the loss of the 3 to 6 hours a night together has had an impact, both good and bad, for everyone involved. I, for one, am starting to miss the discussions we'd occasionally have of topics in the old place. With that in mind, I'll probably put together a one-off panel show for Thursday night in the new style, which is 1 hour roundtable discussion. And we have tentative plans for a Saturday show for this week with some special guest stars and a topic that you'll probably have an interest in of some sort. Remember, Shuggy and Pope Phil II are set to be on Mark the Sarcastic Law Student's Friday night show this week. Time TBD, and I'll promote the link as soon as I get one. I may or may not be making an appearance, so please stay tuned. Hank, Pope Phil II, and I will be back tomorrow morning for a continuing coverage of the Karen Reed murder trial. It's a full day tomorrow, and we'll be hopefully powering through the rest of Jen McCabe's cross-examination and redirect. Remember, you can find all the news of the 1A auditing world here every night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. where it counts, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. on the West Coast. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment, as everything you do makes a difference. We're literally halfway to monetization after a week, and I know if we band together, we can make it soon enough. With that, have a wonderful night. Hope to see you tomorrow morning at 8:55 Eastern for the next round of Karen Reed murder coverage. Take care, all. See ya in the morning.